Welcome back. Right, so today we're taking a look at this DIODE-609 by Arturia. It's their latest compressor in a suite of effects plugins that they're doing. I'm going to take a look at this today. I actually did go ahead and buy all of them. Let me just move this aside here. Okay, so there are a few of them. So we've got the comp diode, which was the new one, and then we have the EQ there, which is also the new one. And there was one other that we bought. It's also the bus force. I possibly will do a video on those as well. Just let me know if you want me to do videos on those as well. Okay, so this is the compressor comp diode 609. It is a really nice compressor. So quickly going through it, we have on the left hand side we have the compressor. On the right hand side we have the limiter. We can have them in and out by using these toggle switches here. So that's a limiter in and that's a compressor in, and then we can turn them off and on. So what we'll do is we'll turn the limiter off for now, so we'll look at that a bit later. Then we have your threshold, attack, recovery time, makeup gain and ratio, and then in and out, which is just essentially your bypass switch. On the limiter you have your threshold, recovery times, you have a fast or slow attack time, in and out just to bypass it. Just over here you have the link, stereo and dual mono. Then you have the mid side chain or the left and right. At the bottom here, which is under the advanced tab, which is here. If you just click the advanced tab, you will see this. This is your sidechain equalizer with the sidechain listen Q bus on here, which is really nice, and I will show you a bit of that later. Just up here, as you can see, you will be able to resize this window from 50% all the way to 200%. I've currently have it on 120. And under here, you have your presets. Let's talking for me. Let's listen to what this thing sounds like. Grab your headphones, turn up your speakers. Just incidentally, while we're here, I clicked on this, but normally it will look like this. Your gain reduction, left and right, VU meters. Then just below here, you have your wet dry signal with a lock. This preserves the mix settings when changing the presets. So if you want to put it anywhere and you don't want to adjust anything else, just leave as is. You can just click this icon. It will lock it, and then when you go through to the presets and you make any of the changes there, you don't lose that setting there. Let's compress up the advanced section for now, and we'll come back to that. Grab your headphones, let's go. So I'm going to put this on link. It's on the master bus of the track, so we are going to see what this sounds like, just the compressor for now. Then we'll go over and listen to the limiter. Right, so just playing through this thing very quickly. It's kind of a house and garagey track, so we want that bass pumping and the kick drum pumping, so we want a fast threshold and we want a kind of fast recovery time. So we're going to put it on A1, and it's on fixed, but we probably want it on about 5 milliseconds of attack time. Makeup gain we must check, because I see lots of people do this. They'll make some settings, so they reduce the threshold all the way down. You can see they're losing about 10-15 dBs, but they're not doing the makeup gain. Or they're doing everything and everything sounds ridiculous, because what they're doing is they're just making the track sound louder without actually making the compressor work. And we want to avoid that. So what we may do periodically is either go to the bypass here or go from wet to dry to ensure that we're just not making the track louder just for the sake of making it louder. So if we click on the VU meters, we will see this graph here. I think we need roughly about 10 dBs worth of gain reduction. Our original signal is the original signal is the blue one. Now this is kind of annoying. It's the first thing I found earlier on today when I loaded this up. I would like this window to be fixed so that when we're looking at the graph, like here, this thing isn't still scrolling, because I can see the original signal, which is the blue, and the gain reduction, which is the orange one. I would just like to see it so I can see what adjustments I need to make, however. Okay, so we still need a tiny little bit more of the gain reduction, I think, to my ears. That's just me. And incidentally, before I forget, down here where you can see this thing says stepped controls, this means that every time I move this knob here, it goes in 2 dB increments. If I disable that, then we can just simply freestyle it. The other thing that I wish that they had put on this is, see where you can see it says 29.2 dB. I would like to be able to type that in somewhere and just say, okay, I know exactly what it is. It's 29.2. I can't find where I can do that yet. And just down here, you can see the undo and the redo. And this is quite handy, a list of what we've just touched. I like that idea. I like that a lot. Down here we have the bypass, but then we also have it here as well. But yeah, let's just go through. Well, let's go through and listen to some of the presets so you can see what it sounds like. This is on the master bus, so we'll choose something appropriate. The other thing I should mention as well is currently I'm on a Mac Pro 2012, the cheese grater. I love my Mac, but currently we're using roughly about 3% of the CPU, which I think is quite a lot. I think installing this is just over 400 and, I don't know, 32 meg, something like that. But they are quite hefty. Let's see what this big compressor sounds like. Now remember this, the top line is the compression signal and the blue line is the input coming in. So as you can see on the threshold here, it's at 40, so we're going to get a lot of gain reduction there. And the makeup gain, so the attack is on fixed. Then we have the recovery time at 800, and then the makeup gain, which we will check now. Let's just do that now. Let's just switch between the bypass and the wet signal and see where we are. That is not bad at all. Listen to the engaged. So we're getting 13, 14% dBs of gain reduction. Let's hit the bypass. You can see it flatline there. That's not too bad. We can get the makeup gain up a little bit more, but it's not too bad. Let's flick through, see what else we got here. So we got catch piece. Let's see what it does on the catch piece. Okay, we can see exactly what it's doing there. It's just catching the tips of these peaks here, and we can see from where the threshold is versus the attack and the recovery time, so we can see what it's doing. It's very, very quick. Let's see what else we've got. Let's go through focus mids. This will help the vocals, I guess. Let's go and look at the advanced section here and see what we've got down here. So you can see right here we have a sidechain listen. Now, essentially what that's going to do, it's going to look ahead by some milliseconds to see what signal's coming up next, and we can make those appropriate changes. Let's just start the track from the beginning again, and let's just go through and see how it sounds with adjusting the high pass, the mid frequencies, the mid gains, and the high shelf. And let's just make sure this is on the in section, so it is there. Let's just go and see what it sounds like there. So as you can see on the mid gain, we have minus dB, so minus 10 dB to plus 10 dB. So that is going to make a huge amount of difference. Let's check on the high pass. Let's turn that off for a second. At 640 Hertz to the off position. Let's go to our high shelf. Now, I really do like these sidechain equalizers in compressors because it means it gives you an extra added dimension to your EQing. Bearing in mind, you can't go overboard with this because, as you can see on this, on each of my tracks, I do have a fab filter plug-in controlling the EQ. It's the Pro EQ3, so we have to be careful when we're using this, especially on the mix bus. Now, one of the things we can do is we can link or unlink these. So if we unlink them, it means that anything we do down here isn't affected by the one at the top. So left and right are not, they're operating independently. So if you can hear my AC, because it's quite warm in the UK for the last week or so, so you may hear my AC in the background here. Okay, so let's go and let's go back to our default. And let's throw in the limiter. Let's turn off the EQ, the compressor, and let's go to the limiter. So you can see here. You can see the original signal versus the signal that's going to get limited. So we're somewhere between 6 dB. Let's push it a little bit more. Let's switch to slow. Not that we need it. Obviously too slow for this track. Well, I do like the effect on it. It's actually very nice. So that's the limiter. Let's turn the limiter off and let's go and do, again, let's do unlinked so we can adjust the left and right channels independently to see what we got here. So we need to do some makeup gain here. And obviously we need to do them independently. Now this is a lot trickier than it looks, but there is some reasons why you would want to have these things unlinked or in dual mono mode or versus stereo mode. So let's also go to dual mono and we'll continue with that experiment. Let's unlink them. Let's unlink them so we have it there. So we're unlinked and we're in dual mono, and let's even go to mid side. Now, I actually like that sound there. I really do like that. Let's adjust the makeup gain. Yeah, that's about right there. Well, anyway, this is the Comp DIODE-609 by Arturia. This is a really nice plugin. I'm not sure where it ranks amongst all of my other compressors, but I do like the flexibility. I like the fact that you have these parameters here that allow you to do dual mono and stereo, left and right and mid-side chain, link and unlink, and I do like the fact that we have this extra advanced processor at the bottom that allows us to do sidechain EQing. I do like that. Obviously, because this is internal, you'd obviously guess if we slip if we slip this in and we reset it back to normal, there is no external there is no external to this. So if we hit this button here and we go external, we're not going to get any signal because we are totally running internally. But this is actually a good plugin. I will leave a link in the description for you to go and take a look at this. I do believe there is a demo that you can download. So if you have the option and the time to do it, certainly go and do it. If there's any criticisms, I would like to see a freeze button here. Unless I've missed it because I only got this today, but if there is a freeze option, I would like to examine that really closely. That would be very, very useful. Other than that, I like it. Again, with a lot of Arturia products, I do find them quite intensive in terms of the old machines. There's lots of people running these 2012 machines, and they are very good. I'm not knocking them. I do have a newer machine, but I have everything on this machine stored, and I kind of like it this way. That's it for me today. I will be back again this week, so take care for now. If you're listening and watching, please do subscribe, like, comment, share, all the other stuff, yada yada. It gives me some inspiration to keep on doing these videos. Thanks very much for your time. Take care for now. Goodbye.